Welcome back to my photography journey. My name's Steve, and today I want to talk to you about modes on your camera. I know I've talked about this before, but today I want to go into the difference between aperture priority and manual mode. And this has come up recently because I've been watching a few videos on YouTube, and a few photographers have said that they use aperture priority mode over manual mode for landscape photography to allow the camera to do some of the work and not have to adjust so many settings. Aperture priority isn't something that I've particularly used before, so what I'm going to do is take my camera out into the woods, use it entirely on aperture priority mode, and see what we get. See what the results are, see how things are different with me just adjusting that one factor and allowing the camera to do the rest of the work. So let's go and find out. So this is Hindhead Common in Surrey, a very foggy day today. It's definitely different to what I was expecting, but the main thing is I'm going to get some good pictures. I've got the whole day out with my camera and I'll be able to get some good pictures. I'll be able to share what I've learned today. I'm going to be using aperture priority, like I said, and let's go and take some pictures. I'm having a really good morning out in the fog. It's been something completely different, something that I've not done before. I've been using aperture priority. Sometimes I feel like it's been a bit too slow, a shutter speed, but it's been brightening up recently and I think that I'm going to have some pretty good shots. I've taken a few in my normal manual mode because I wanted to do that kind of comparison between the two, so we'll see what those look like. Well, some days didn't go entirely as planned. A bit foggy. This is meant to be a lovely view. If the fog lifts, it will be spectacular. What do you do when it doesn't quite work out? Well, you make the most of it. So today, I've been taking pictures of trees, I've been taking pictures of things in the fog, and I'm just making the most of it really. I'm just enjoying being out with my camera, trying things slightly differently, different shutter speeds, different modes, like I said, using aperture priority, and I've really enjoyed it. So it's been a really good morning. Haven't quite got the shots I wanted, but I've got better ones I think. And it's all good practice for other days. So let's carry on with it. So welcome back to this special edition of my ghostly trees in the fog. I've had a great morning out in Hindhead Common and, well, look at the view. Lots of trees, lots of peace and quiet, lots of fog. What's not to enjoy? I know it's not quite what I was after, but I've really enjoyed being out and about. I've been using aperture priority mode. I've been doing some focus stacking, so yeah, hopefully all this will come out nicely. So let's get back. Let's get out of the fog, let's get a coffee, and let's have a look at some of these pictures. I'll see you back in the office. So welcome back into my office. Now that we're back from the cold and the fog, let's have a look at some of those pictures and see what we've got. So what did I learn today? I learned that aperture priority mode is really quite useful. It gave me more time to think about the compositions, think about what I was taking pictures of, rather than having to worry about the settings on my camera. I did, however, miss having that complete control over everything. It dropped the shutter speed slower than I would have wanted it to, and I would have normally adjusted other factors like the ISO in order to compensate for that. But that's how it did it. I got used to it. Particularly when I had my camera on my tripod, it was no problem at all. It made no difference. It was when I was hand holding it that I ran into problems. Is probably a bit strong, but I had to be a little bit more careful when I pressed the button. It always seemed like a long time. So that just means that I need to have a look at what's the lowest value that I can still hand hold a shot at. And one of the big things was adapting to my day. realizing that I wasn't going to get the kind of shots that I wanted, realizing that the views that I'd gone to see in this particular place in Surrey, they weren't going to be there because of the fog. Realizing this and adapting what I was going to take pictures of, what I wanted to achieve from the day, that is something that is a valuable lesson. Managing to adapt and change my plan without it having to affect the quality of the pictures that I was taking or the amount of pictures that I took, that is a very valuable lesson. So let's edit some of these pictures and see what they look like. So thank you for joining me today on my photography journey. I hope you've learned something. It was fun getting out into the woods and seeing what the fog was like. Not quite what I had planned, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Aperture priority, I quite like it. I'll be using it again in the future. If you've got any comments or questions, suggestions, anything like that, pop them down below in the comments. Otherwise, remember to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you again next week on my photography journey. Thanks a lot. Have a great week. Bye.